was the last lesson. The Japanese boy, we'll call him Riku, bit his pencil, keeping his eyes on the clock on the wall. When that life-saving bell did ring, Riku hurriedly packed his things into a small brown backpack. Right at that moment, someone bumped into him. The rest of the boys were in such a hurry to get home that they knocked Riku down. Pens, pencils, and notebooks scattered all over the classroom. That, and Riku himself fell near the desk. His classmates made a few final jokes about Riku not being able to keep up, and ran away. Once again, Riku would be the last of the kids to leave the school. He didn't like this one bit. When all the children head home, the school corridors and the street become a little off-putting. Riku quickly packed all his school supplies into his backpack and ran into the hallway. Floating around in his head were all the words he said to those who offended him if he fell again. Riku flew like lightning down the corridor and suppressed his annoyance at having blundered so badly in front of his classmates. Less than a minute later, the boy ran out onto the school playground. On the horizon, the last frontier could be seen. The school gates. Make it past these and Riku would be able to walk home in peace. For some reason, the city streets outside the school weren't as scary. As soon as Riku took his starting position for the final push, there was a noise behind him. But wasn't he the last kid to leave the school? This thought warmed Riku. Although he understood that it could be either teachers or the school security guard, Riku turned his head and saw a cute girl sitting by the window. Riku was very surprised. And not at all because he wasn't the last child to leave the school, but rather because it was a girl. After all, only boys studied there at his school. Riku asked the beautiful stranger what she was doing at the boys' school, but the girl was in no hurry to answer. She just smiled sweetly and hugged herself, resting her elbows on the windowsill. As soon as Riku managed to smile back, all the pleasant emotions seemed to have been blown away by the wind. In an instant, the girl fell down. Obviously, in such a situation, he should have rushed to help, but Riku had no desire to do this at all. From what he saw, he experienced only horror, disgust, and a desire to leave the school grounds as soon as possible. The girl who fell out of the window was completely missing the lower part of her body. The sweet smile on the girl's face was instantly replaced by a terrible grimace. A feeling of horror seized the boy, and he couldn't even move a finger. In a daze, he simply watched as the creepy creature, which just a second ago seemed like a cute girl, approached him. Leaning her elbows and palms on the ground, she moved quickly towards Riku. At the same time, she uttered a blood-chilling sound. Teke Teke. And with every movement, her claws clicked against the asphalt. It took the monster only a few seconds to come close to the frightened boy. Then, as if out of nowhere, the girl took a scythe and with a light wave of her hand, divided Riku in half. She turned him into a thing just like her. Maybe this boy had a different name, but he definitely existed. And the creature that attacked him is called Teke Teke in Japan, because of the signature sound that's heard when the creature moves. But she wasn't always like that. Teke Teke once lived the life of an ordinary Japanese girl. One day she was walking along the railroad tracks when a train loomed on the horizon. The girl probably wanted to move out of the way, but she was unable to. She fell right on the rails and wasn't able to get up. What's more, the train operator didn't have enough time to slow down, even if he were to have seen the girl lying on the rails. The train ruthlessly cut the schoolgirl's body in half. The poor thing bled out for a while, and her death was extremely painful and agonizing. As a result, the schoolgirl became an onyo, which is the name in Japan for ghosts who kill people out of a sense of revenge for being unfairly treated during their lifetime. But what exactly does Teke Teke need to take revenge for? She kills random people who cross her path near train stations. What did they ever do to the poor girl? And what went wrong with the prospective Riku, who Teke Teke killed right near his own school? Was there a railway station nearby? Or was the boy just an exception? Perhaps when the girl who turned into Teke Teke was dying, there were witnesses nearby, but none of them dared to come to the aid of the crippled schoolgirl. People just stood by and watched as the innocent girl slowly perished. And Riku, or whatever his real name was, might just be the son of the operator, the same one who drove the train that split the girl in half. Having dealt with the boy, Teke Teke was able to avenge her death. Granted, many believe that she swoops down on any children who are playing outside at dusk. Some believe that Teke Teke may be related to a woman named Kashima Reiko. There's a possibility that it was she who became Teke Teke after her death. Kashima lived on the island of Hokkaido. Late one night, as she was returning home, several men suddenly attacked her from around the corner. They beat the unfortunate woman, abusing her. They tortured her for a long time, just for fun, then left her to die. But Kashima continued to fight for her life. She couldn't walk or call for help. The woman crawled away with all her strength, hoping to stumble upon someone who might be able to help her. But there was not a single living soul nearby. When Kashima crawled over to the railroad, she had no strength left to move on. She passed out right on the rails. In the meantime, a train was moving along the railway towards Kashima. The train cut her body in half. I'd like to believe that Kashima died quickly and had no time to feel the pain. The ghost of Kashima is believed to have been wandering around looking for its own legs ever since. For some reason, she most often visits the school toilets and asks the children if they've seen her legs. Sometimes she comes to the restrooms at home. But unlike Teke Teke, there's a chance of surviving a meeting with Kashima. You just need to answer her questions correctly. If the ghost asks where her legs are, you should say that they're on the Maishin Expressway. In response, she may ask who gave you this information. This question should be answered simply by saying, Kashima Reiko. In any other cases, the legless girl might kill her victim. She really likes doing this, asking a little tricky questions. One of